The Greene County Department of Development. Thank you for joining us today. I do want to let you know that there are bathrooms directly behind us here. If you need to take a phone call, you're more than welcome to go outside there. Again, this is a huge collaboration that has been going on for multiple years between the county and Jefferson Township. Jefferson Township originally approached the county in 21 seeking funding to demolition South School. So unfortunately at that point in time we did not have enough funding to complete that project. But since the state decided to fund the demo program again, we were able to bring them in on this round of funding. During the, work to get the application together, we did determine that there was a time capsule in the building. And so Mr. Ziering was able to get that out and brought it into the county. So today we will be opening that. And again, thank you for coming in.
Again, thank you for coming today. My name is Mary McKinley. I am the Public Outreach Program Coordinator for the Greene County Record Center and Archives. I'm excited to have all of you here today to experience this piece of history with us. And we do want to explain a little bit of the history behind it before we start opening the box. I promise I won't keep you too long, all right? I know we're all excited. But we're just going to briefly go through a couple of details. So this is the cornerstone that the time capsule on the table in front of you came out of. You will notice that there are in fact 2 dates on the cornerstone here, which is a little bit unusual. If you've ever noticed cornerstones in buildings around you before, they typically only have 1 date on them. So this caught our attention. The 2 dates on this stone, 1858 and 1915, represent 1858, the creation of Jefferson Township, June 7th, 1858. 1915 represents the time that this cornerstone was laid for the Jefferson Township Centralized School building. So 2 dates on a cornerstone, a little interesting. We suspect that might mean that the contents of the box will represent the larger history of Jefferson Township as well as the Centralized School. You'll find out with us today. So just a little bit then of history about Jefferson Township. Jefferson Township was the last township created in Greene County. The base map here is the 1855 Greene County Atlas. So you can see the original township lines there from 1855, and then the creation of Spring Valley out of Sugar Creek and a little bit of Xenia Township as well. This was prior to the creation of Jefferson Township, but I include it so that we can see kind of the whole picture. And then Jefferson Township over here in the southeast corner was created entirely from territory that had previously been Silver Creek Township. Jefferson Township, as it stands, is pretty large, so you can imagine how huge the original Silver Creek Township would have been, and how difficult to administer that much territory, correct? So in 1858, Jefferson Township was laid out to make that administration a little bit easier. You will also notice Bowersville is represented here. Bowersville predates the creation of Jefferson Township by about 10 years. It was created in 1848. It was surveyed by Samuel Owens from land that was owned by Christopher Hussey. Hussey is a name that has long roots in the community, still to this day, family members with that and descendants with that name. When Jefferson Township was created from Silver Creek Township, there were still a few smaller schools that had existed in Silver Creek Township, but they weren't quite up to what Jefferson Township needed. So over the years, more schools were created. We can see 8 of the 9 schools that existed in Jefferson Township before the creation of the Centralized School building that our time capsule came out of. And you can see how spread out they are around the township. These would all, except for the one in Bowersville, have been small, one-room schoolhouses with not very nice facilities for the students. And as we start looking up into the 20th century, as the new millennium of 1900 rolls around, they weren't really up to the task of what was being required of education anymore. So the people of Jefferson Township chose to centralize their schools. So this was the old Bowersville School. It was one of the few schools in Jefferson Township that was more than a one-room schoolhouse. It had been added on to several times over the years, to try to keep up with the needs of students. But even this building wasn't enough to keep up with the needs of the students of Bowersville and Jefferson Township. And so the citizens of Jefferson Township voted for a centralized school building that would house all of Jefferson Township's public students. So this is the artist's rendering that the citizens voted on funding. They did vote overwhelmingly, almost 2-1, in favor of this new proposition, this new mode of education for their students. They were the first township in Greene County to choose to centralize all of their schools into one central school. And we can see here the centralized school building when it was finished. We can tell that the architect's drawing was very accurate, correct? We can also, if you have an eagle eye, see our cornerstone. And that cornerstone laying was big news in the community. 1,000 people came to see this cornerstone laid in for the building. So it was a big to-do. There was a congressman there talking about education, talking about world affairs, which we're going to come back to in just a minute. So it was a huge deal that that school was opening. And when it opened, it had 12 rooms and 257 students were enrolled at first. So we have, again, a big commitment to public education in Jefferson Township at this time. Oh, okay, we're gonna go back just a moment. And I have the pleasure and the honor to introduce our guest speaker today by the name of Iola Burr-Kramer. Let me get the right one here. Here we are. So I can speak to the history, but we have someone here who can speak from personal experience of many years of Jefferson Township's history. So Iola Burr-Kramer has lived in Greene County her entire long life of 104.5 years. She graduated in 1937 from Jefferson Township School in Bowersville as the class salutatorian. In 1938, she married James Kramer and together raised 6 children, all who also attended school in the building that we are highlighting today. She has served her local community in her activities with the Bowersville Senior Citizens, the Bowersville Church of Christ, and the Jefferson Township Alumni. She is known as Iola Mizing on Facebook and is an encourager and inspiration to many. She has a remarkable memory, is a storyteller, a genealogist, a loving mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and wonderful friend to many. She was most recently honored last month by her induction into the Jefferson, Ross, Silver Creek, Greenview Alumni Hall of Fame as a community servant and local historian. So Iola, if you would like to speak and share your experience.
First, I want to thank Robin for inviting me to speak today about the history of the Jefferson Township School in Bowersville. Most of my remarks today are based on the research of my sister, Martha Bird Hollingsworth. Prior to 1915, there were 9 one-room school buildings in Jefferson Township. They were the Orchard Grove School, Bowersville School, Gunnersville School, Mount Carmel School, Green Valley School, Shealy or Hargrave School, Fawcett School, Centennial or Compton School, and the Urban School. These brick buildings, all built by Joseph Hollingsworth for many years, provided early education to the community. In 1914, school board members, President Porter F. Jasper, John H. Chitty, James Hargrave, A.B. Burt Lewis, and S. Draper Bales decided a centralized location would greatly enhance the educational opportunities for the township children. The land chosen was owned by Benjamin Vanlin. In 1914, construction began with Harley Owens as the architect and Joseph Mormon as the general contractor. The cornerstone was laid on June the 7th, 1915 by the Grand Lodge of Ohio F&A Masons, with members from many surrounding communities participating. The featured speaker was Dr. Samuel D. Fass, congressman from the district and president of Antioch College. Music was provided by the Bowersville Band. It was said that even a violent downpour could not mar the festive occasion. The building was completed in 1916 with the school board members of President Porter Jasper A.B. Burt Lewis, John H. Jitty, William Gorman, B.A. Pendry, and clerk W.L. Klein. The total cost of the building, anybody want to guess? Was $50,000. The Bowersville Jefferson School had the honor of being the first centralized school in Greene County, Ohio. The building was first used May the 5th, 1916 for 2 ceremonies, an 8th grade graduation of 5 students and a senior commencement ceremony for 4 graduates, Mildred Beal, Larry, Lamar Dubs, Dean Hunt, and Harold Brakefield. The electricity was furnished that day by a private dynamo, but Dayton Power and Light provided electricity for the completed building. There was no running water in the building, but 2 drinking wells, one on the east side and one on the west side, and you were supposed to have your own collapsible cup, but tin cups were hanging on the pumps. There were also 2 outhouses, one for boys and one for girls, behind the building. The first school year opened September the 12th, 1916, with Mr. Driscoll as superintendent. There were 238 grade school students, 37 high school students, 9 teachers, and 8 horse-drawn wagon routes with drivers to provide the transportation. Another community celebration was held September 15, 1916 for the dedication of the building. I started school there in September 1925 and rode on the horse-drawn wagon with Amy and Roscoe Sutton as drivers. There was a center aisle and bench seats on the sides. In cold weather months, they burned a small kerosene heater to help keep us warm. The following year, according to the school board minutes, they attached those same wagons onto motorized chassis, 1 wagon at a time, until all were converted. A few statistics of interest from the alumni records show that between 1916 and the consolidation year of 1960 for Greenview, there were 726 graduates. The smallest graduating classes were 1916 and 1917, with 4 graduates each, and the largest graduating class was 1940 with 29 students. The last graduating class of 1960 consisted of 16 graduates. There were at least 18 graduates of Jefferson Township School that returned as teachers. That was another benefit. In the late 40s or early 50s, major building remodeling took place, adding a new larger gymnasium, extensive cafeteria remodeling, and inside bathrooms. The building is now 109 years old, 4 years older than I am. It has served our community well. I am delighted to be here today to view the contents of the time capsule. This school holds a special place in my heart, and I'm sure the heart of many others. If you want to hear more of my personal school-related recollections, please see my Facebook page. I close saluting the Jefferson Township Bowersville School by saying, "Go Tigers."
Thank you, Iola. I really am so happy you were able to come today. We appreciate and really enjoy hearing your memories of the school. Hi everyone, my name is Robin Heiss. I'm the Greene County Records Manager and Archivist. We also have another special guest here today that I want to make sure we recognize. Mr. Hugh Haynes is sitting right here. Mr. Haynes was the principal of the school from 1952 to 1982 is what I've been told. So I'm pretty sure between him and Iola they have a lot of great stories of the school. So we really appreciate you coming today. So this all started last November when Christy gave me a call and said to me, asked me the question, do you have a registry of all the time capsules in Greene County? And as an archivist, my first thought was, oh, how I wish I did, because I would love to find them all. But we did not, so we did some research and we confirmed that there was indeed a time capsule in the Cornerstone at the school. So from that point forward, took some time, but Richard Zurich the owner of the building and a Jefferson Township trustee, he chipped away at that cornerstone and he was able to get that thing out of it, removed from the building, and get it to us here at the archives where we were able to remove the time capsule from the cornerstone. So today, it's all about the time capsule. And what is a time capsule? In a sense, time capsules allow us to travel back in time. The items placed in the time capsules provide a snapshot of what was occurring in the local community, highlight recent community accomplishments, technology, and provide insight into important people and/or organizations. Opening a time capsule is always exciting, but it's also a little bit unnerving because it's exciting to think that you're the first person in 109 years to touch the contents in that box. But it's unnerving because you never know what's coming out of the time capsule. Will there actually be something in the time capsule, or will this be another Al Capone's vault and we open it and there's nothing in it? Hopefully that's not going to be the case today. So we're going to have fun today. But before we get there, a quick lesson. Mary kind of went over this with you on the formation of Jefferson Township and the importance of this particular date in its history. Jefferson Township, as Mary said, was the last township to be organized in Greene County. And on June 7, 1858, the Greene County Commissioners approved a petition to take land from Silver Creek Township and create Jefferson Township. So today is Jefferson Township's 166th birthday. So happy birthday, Jefferson Township. So we're going to fast forward to June 7th, 1915, the township's 57th birthday, which, by the way, is exactly 109 years ago today. This time capsule was put into the cornerstone of the new, modern Jefferson Township Centralized School. Hence the dates, as Mary pointed out, on the cornerstone, 1858 to 1915. So before we actually open up the copper box, we need to mentally go back in time to 1915. We need to know what was happening in the world, the country, the state, and here in Greene County. Whoops. So what was happening in 1915? Woodrow Wilson was president. World War I had been going on in Europe for nearly a year, but the United States had not yet entered the war. The Lusitania, a British ocean liner, was torpedoed by the German Navy, killing 1,199 people. It was sailing from New York to Liverpool. The first mechanized tank, called Little Willie, was designed by William Foster and Company in England. And Alexander Graham Bell made the first coast-to-coast phone call in the U.S. from New York City to San Francisco. Babe Ruth hit his first career home run. Arthur Conan Doyle's book, The Valley of Fear, was published. And the first stone of the Lincoln Memorial was put into place. The Lincoln Memorial hadn't even been built.